At Numerian Capital, we bring you the latest stock news each day. Please like and subscribe so we can bring these articles to you each day. Thank you.
Today, January 13, 2023, Mullen still hasn't filed its Form 10-K. Mullen stockholders are anxiously awaiting the arrival of Mullen's Form 10-K. The trading day is over and there is still no sight of a Form 10-K from Mullen Automotive. Mullen has until 5:30 p.m. to file the form. Shares of Mullen stock close lower by 8%. Shares of Mullen Automotive, NASDAQ MULN, stock closed in the red because the company still hasn't filed its Form 10-K, or annual report, for the fiscal year ended September 30th. Mullen has until 5:30 p.m. to file the form, or else it will be considered late. The drama unfolded after Mullen filed a Form NT, which stands for non-timely, on December 29. December 29 marked the initial deadline for Mullen to file its 10-K, which is 90 days after the end of the fiscal year on September 30. The Form NT provided the electric vehicle company with a 15-day grace period, extending the deadline to today, January 13. Mullen attributed the extension to needing more time to properly value its warrants. The warrants could have an impact on the consolidated results of operations. The company also added that the valuation of the warrants will have no effect on free cash flow and cash flow from operations. Mullen fails to file Form 10-K. So, what happens if the Securities and Exchange Commission doesn't receive the form by 5:30 today? Firstly, Mullen would lose Rule 144 eligibility. The company would also lose the power to file a Form S-3 and a Form S-8. According to 100 F Street, Mullen will regain Rule 144 eligibility and the power to file a Form S-8 once the Form 10-K is received. However, a late Form 10-K means that Mullen will be unable to file a Form S-3 for at least a period of 12 months. A Form S-3 is used in certain types of offerings, such as through raising capital through a secondary offering or the exercise of outstanding warrants. Meanwhile, a Form S-8 is a registration statement that must be filed when companies register and offer securities as a part of an employee benefit plan. Finally, Rule 144 eligibility covers the conditions in which restricted, unregistered, and control securities can be sold or resold. Losing the power to file a Form S-3 could spell particular trouble for Mullen. At the company's upcoming special meeting of stockholders on January 19, it proposed several provisions related to raising capital. Proposal number 2 seeks to increase authorized common stock to $5 billion from $1.75 billion, while proposal number 4 seeks to issue $150 million in notes and up to $190 million of additional Series D preferred stock. Bollinger Motors preps for key hires. The EV upstart is getting serious about its commercial fleet ambitions. Mullen Automotive stock uncharacteristically plunged on Friday. Social media lit up earlier today as users circulated job postings from Mullen-acquired Bollinger Motors. Ambitions toward commercial electric vehicles present both risks and rewards for Mullen stock. Shares of electric vehicle upstart Mullen Automotive dropped in the late afternoon session on Friday. Earlier today, social media was buzzing about job openings at Bollinger Motors, an EV specialist in which Mullen acquired a controlling interest last September. The decline of Mullen stock may reflect the risks associated with Bollinger's heightened ambitions. On Bollinger Motors' website, interested applicants can compete for a range of new positions. The earliest posting in the bunch, for Vehicle Controls Manager, was dated December 12, 2022, while the newest, for Manufacturing Director, hit the internet today. Of the 19 positions available, Bollinger posted 10 this week. Adding intrigue for Mullen stock, the positions cover a wide breadth of functionalities, indicating a significant investment in forward ambitions. Mullen notably acquired Bollinger, its first EV acquisition to propel the company into the medium-duty truck classes 3 to 6, along with the B1 and B2 sport utility trucks. In summary, the listed positions can be broken down into 3 main categories: engineering, technical and management. For the first segment, openings for Electrical Engineer Director and HVLV Systems Engineer reflect a desire for innovation leadership. Next, for the technical component, Bollinger is seeking experts like quality and fabricator technicians. Finally, The company is searching for a purchasing manager and service manager, indicating confidence in a long-term viable enterprise. For good measure, Bollinger also wants to fill the investment director role, which has a primary goal of driving the capital raise process for upcoming fundraising rounds. Commercial fleet route may bode well for Mullen stock. On paper, Mullen investing heavily in its commercial fleet ambitions via Bollinger offers upside potential for Mullen stock. Fundamentally, delivery-focused EVs may be able to help address the last-mile problem. For transportation, the last mile refers to the most expensive and time-consuming component of the supply chain process. However, the greater efficiency of EVs relative to traditional vehicles, especially in stop-and-go urban driving settings, ultimately presents a positive framework for Mullen stock and its ilk. Research regarding the relevance of EVs toward the last-mile problem explains the following: per sustainable cities and society. Many a time the tested vehicle was able to complete the work task stipulated for 2 working days before the battery needed recharging. What is more, the long travel range after returning to the warehouse convinced the drivers of the EV reliability and allowed them to work with no doubts about EV mobility, despite previously reported concerns. With more high-profile enterprises electrifying their fleet, Mullen operates in a relevant, burgeoning sector at the very least. Therefore, the narrative could pan out well for Mullen stock. Viability concerns cloud Mullen's initiatives. Nevertheless, prospective investors will likely have difficulty diving wholesale into Mullen stock, particularly with today's decline. Many market observers may be spooked by Mullen's foray into commercial EVs. For instance, while the company did make headlines for introducing a small-scale urban delivery vehicle to the European market, the backdrop isn't completely favorable. Although demand in Europe for electric delivery vehicles has grown robustly on a percentage basis, diesel and petrol vehicles still dominate the market. Mullen doesn't have the greatest financial profile, either. Capital highlights. Mullen is a pre-revenue startup in a relatively young market. The company's liquidity is limited and its timeline to deliver its first vehicles and generate revenues is quite far in the future. This means that its ability to stay afloat until it starts bringing money in is questionable. While the rewards for taking a long odds wager can be astronomical, the consequences for failure are also devastating. With that in mind, investors should approach Mullen stock with extreme caution.
Thanks for watching Numerian Capital News. Please come back tomorrow for another stock news update. Thank you.